last night we did a show on Common Core. And I'm always amazed at how conspiracy theory.
And on this one, from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
right,
the
and
Republicans. Yeah, the Republicans are just as bad on this one as the Democrats are, and this is all about either big business or control. This isn't about your children. This is about data mining on your children or big business being able to have the workers. We are creating state capitalism. And everybody is on the record. All these big people are on the record saying, China is the future. I don't want to live like China. I don't want to have my kids with a future of Foxconn.
Yeah. And weirdly, Bill Gates himself, who's funding this Common Core thing, is on record saying that they're going to data mine our kids so that he can use it for product line development. I mean, that's essentially what he said.
Yeah.
He said they'll use that for developing products that will help it. I mean, he presents it as though it's going to be good for society. And it might be. But I don't want my kids used as an experiment for your business purposes.
So it's amazing how you can bring this up and people will say, once you start on data mining, you're in a different territory. And we talked about just 5 months ago, we started talking about this and saying, look, data mining, and they're going to do iris scanning, and you don't want to get into iris scanning. And many people,
crazy.
That's crazy. They're never going to do that. That's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. So you know what iris scanning means. Go back to, now we're going into fiction now, but go back to Minority Report. Do you remember what Minority Report was all about?
Yeah.
Minority Report was all about trying to get out of the system. And he had to go to that doctor, that backroom doctor.
Where he had his actual eyes removed and had implants.
Right, because of the iris scanning. Everything had to go by iris scan.
So it was really interesting when he walked into a store at the mall and he had his new eyes and they scanned him and it was, hello, Mr. Yakamoto. You've got the sweater that you bought last time is on sale in different colors and sizes. And so it knew his previous purchase. It knew what he kind of liked to buy, and it directed him to that's what's on the horizon.
Oh,
That's
it's already there.
It's already here.
It's already there. They're already scanning your emails. They're already scanning all of these things. Yesterday, the data mining center in Utah, I read a story on the Huffington Post the other day that said, Glenn Beck is trying to say that somehow or another the government is reading all of your emails. Trying to say.
What?
You know where I got that? I got that from CNN. I got that from CNN during the Boston bombing. Now, I've seen it in other sources, but CNN, Boston bombing, FBI guy saying, you know what? Welcome to America Today. We can go back and look at all of the phone calls. We can look back at everything because every electronic,
is stored.
Every electronic communication in America is being stored.
It is so bad. Why do you think when you make a purchase at a store, they say, can I have your phone number? Can I have your email address? Can I have they ask for all your personal information. Mm-hmm. Why? So that they can data mine. So that they can map your purchases. So that they can market you.
What do you think the geo tracker is for on your iPad? Where do you think that's headed? It's so they can geo-track, know exactly where you are. And I'm not saying this is a nefarious thing. I'm saying this is a company thing.
Exactly.
Much of this is very helpful.
Yeah, they know exactly where you are. They know, for instance, you go into your car now. If you have, what's the Google iPad called? The Android or something?
Yeah, the Android is their system for smartphones.
So the Galaxy?
Yeah, I think it's the Galaxy. So the guy, one of the guys has it at work, and he says every time he gets into his car now, at a certain time, it automatically maps for him where he's going because it remembers his pattern. Mm-hmm. It looks for a pattern.
Which is cool.
Cool.
But
totally cool.
Could be used nefariously.
It's bad enough that it's being used by corporations and they can just buy all this stuff and data mine. That's where the cool part comes in. Mm-hmm. The scary part is when you have a government getting all of that information. Mm-hmm. Now, Common Core, the data mining behind Common Core is so invasive that they know the parents, the voting records, the voting patterns, the income, the race, the religion, absolutely everything. And then we said they are also going to be monitoring your kids, and they're going to be using data mining with iris scanners. That's crazy, they said. That's conspiratorial central, they said. Let me play this piece of audio from Polk County, Florida.
It was supposed to be a new security tool, something to make parents feel safe. Instead, it's sparking outrage, and parents say the Polk County School District crossed the line by scanning their children's eyes. News channelist Josh Green explains both sides tonight.
I, of course, thought it was a little too far-fetched, had heard nothing about it.
Connie Turlington says the first time she learned Polk County schools were going to start scanning some students' eyes was after they did that to her 11-year-old son.
And then I realized, oh my gosh, what have they started?
Video from the Stanley Security Solutions website shows the iris scan. Polk school system was planning on using them in a pilot program on 17 buses where students would scan their eyes to get on and off the bus.
There's not a day that goes by that we don't receive a phone call from a frantic parent saying that their child should have been home at 3 o'clock and they were just getting home at 5 and
not
they weren't.
one day?
There's not a day that goes by.
Maybe you should look into your busing system.
No kidding.
Not a day that goes by that we don't have a frantic parent saying, we don't know where our kid is.
Not one single day goes
and
by
so
that we don't lose several children.
Before we started to talk to our bus drivers or anything, we said, is there a way we can scan their irises?
Is there a way we could put a chip right inside their forehead that would help us keep track of them at all
not
times?
Tell any parents?
Not say
not
a word
really
to
bring it up at the PTA or anything else. Let's just do it.
We were at first considering stopping our policy of just dropping them off randomly at different houses. But instead, we tried the iris
we
scan.
thought, nah, that's stupid. Let's go ahead and just put a chip inside their head. Let's do that.
The program was supposed to send text messages to parents for an added sense of security.
I believe our privacy has been invaded. I don't think it was right, and it was
privacy. Your privacy. Your children have had their eyes scanned. And now that is your fingerprint. It is forever in the governmental system.
And they have all information from that.
Are you out of your mind?
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, there's been fingerprinting at schools forever. I mean, I remember doing that as a little kid.
Choice.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
by choice,
and parents would know about it.
And like obviously, like the
and
iris
that was
scan.
that was for. Hey, if your kids get lost, remember that was a special thing. That wasn't. I'm going to scan my fingerprint every time I go onto a bus. And I'm sorry, a fingerprint is one thing. Your iris scan is entirely different. Remember, once you start going into iris scanning, the eyes are the window to the soul. When you want to, and this is what they're talking about in Common Core, iris scanning during testing. Now, why would you do that? Well, you want a lie detector unlike any other lie detector? You scan their iris because the eyes can't lie. The eyes dilate and change. If you don't know the answer, or if you do know the answer, you're lying. The eyes change. It is a very effective lie detector. You go ahead, you train your kids to sit down with a government and a government agent and start talking about. So let me ask you, what do your parents teach you at home? What do your parents? You're a person of faith. What do you think about gay marriage? What do your parents say about gay marriage? What is your any of this stuff? Let's flip it around and say that it's not this administration. Let's bring it to the George Bush administration. What do they teach you about the arts and what do they teach you about them gays? What do they teach you about them blacks? Let's make it the nightmare that the left always says the right is. Do you want your kids having iris scans and that information going into the hands of Dick Cheney and his star chamber? Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with people? I remember, Stu, sitting with you in 1999, and we were talking about Digital Angel, maybe 2000. Remember that, Jeffy? We were on the air, and we were talking about Digital Angel, and we were joking about it.
It was a big deal for a while.
Yeah. And I said this was a chip that you would implant, and it would track your kids.
And again, it was for safety.
And if you remember right, who was there at the opening of Digital Angel? Do you remember this? It was the Secretary of State. It was the Clinton people. It was the Bush people. They were all there. And I said at the time, why is the government so interested in Digital Angel? This isn't a private thing. Why are these huge governmental leaders the ones pushing Digital Angel? What is all with that?
That was a chip you could put in your wrist, right? And and it would monitor your body signs. And for instance, one of the great features of that is if you had a heart attack, you didn't have to call 911. It would alert them for you. And
them for you.
And as EMS is on the way,
it would tell them everything.
Monitor your vital signs.
And it would tell them if you were allergic to anything. And it would also give your exact GPS location. Yeah. If you had Alzheimer's, you'd never get lost.
If your child was kidnapped, you could find him immediately.
And
all of that stuff.
And then they started talking about the financial ramifications of this, because it could also be RFID. So it was sending out that information so you could go into a store,
scan your wrist.
No, you just walk in. The scanners would be around the doors, and so you go in and say, I like this shirt and this shirt and this shirt. You don't need a salesperson. You don't need to stand in line. You just grab the shirts, you try them on, you like them. You walk out the door, boop. It automatically says, I walk through the door with this product. It scans you, debits your account, and you move on. The convenience is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And this is around 2000 we were talking about it. And I'm like, no. There are some things that you don't do for convenience. Mm-hmm. And it was all government agencies that were behind this thing. They were so excited about it.
And there were people lining up to have this done.
Yeah, wanting to have their kids be the first with this digital chip.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even know what happened to that digital chip.
We haven't heard about that in a long time.
We are now at a place, it was total conspiracy theory at that time to say, okay, why are the government agents involved in this? Now we've just yesterday cut the ribbon on the largest data mining center in the history of the world. Every phone call, every text message, every email, every move you make on the internet from here on out is now being mined for data and being recorded for all time. And have you heard anybody do anything on that data mining center in Utah? Anybody?
Other than us, no.
Anybody in the mainstream media that is covering that thing. Nobody's covering it. And now we're having schools scan the iris of our children, and it's just for their safety. At the same time, Common Core is saying we're going to do all of our testing with iris scanners. We're going to do all of our testing with devices around their wrists, so we know when they're sweating, we know what's going on in their mind. Are you crazy?